Hi, today we're going to talk about this, the weapon component. In the previous video, we have done the target component that drag and dropped onto game object makes that game object destructible, essentially. You can shoot at it. So, what is it that the player, the avatar, uses to shoot a target? Well, it uses a weapon. So, we drag and drop this weapon component onto an object, for instance a pistol, a rifle, you name it, and through these characteristics we sort of qualify that weapon. For instance, we say how much energy it has initially, how much energy it consumes per unit of time, and how much damage it gives the object that it hits per unit of time. So these three characteristics they can be filled up with different values, and we specifically use scriptable objects. I'll show you how they look for the pistol. There are 3 scriptable objects for each of these, one for each of these, and they have basically a number inside that says, see, as a float. These are float references, so it's a float that says how much energy the gun has initially and so on. And then there are some other characteristics like how far is the muzzle from the handle, right? Because you have to know where the bullet or the laser comes out of, right? And then what is the muzzle flash, if there is one, and what is the effect of the bullet, the flyover, so to say, and other things, the effect when the object gets hit, and so on. Here you can download all the scriptable objects that are in use for this program that we are building together, and also there are also, as I mentioned, the 3 for scriptable object to fill up this for the pistol. So you see Alan has a pistol, and these are the weapon current energy, this is a scriptable object, and then the weapon energy consumption per unit of time, and the hit impact, meaning how hard it hits a target. So for instance, the pistol current energy is what, 89? Sure, that's how much energy starts with. This is how much energy consumes per unit of time, and this is how hard it hits something. So if I press play, and again, you have probably already seen this, but this is a repeat. The monolith has initially strength resistance 3, so it shouldn't take too long to make it disappear, and there you go, right? And of course from 89 now the energy is going down to 79, so we consume some energy, and later we'll also see how to pick up power-ups that restore the energy of the pistol in this case, and it will all make sense better together. But for now we can see basically the both sides of the equation. On one side we have the targets, already mentioned in the previous video. On this one we went a little deeper on the weapon. So how is it really used? Because the weapon, it doesn't really have functions, right? The target has functions, hit and die, but the weapon is just data. That's because when you are using a weapon to hit a target, what you do, you call this function start firing, right? And what do you fire at? Well, you fire at the target, and then you see that after some checks and stuff, eventually it all comes down to the fact that the target gets hit with a certain intensity, and this intensity comes from the weapon hit impact strength. Basically, how strong is this weapon? Every weapon has a different impact strength, and every target has a different initial resistance. So you can have all sorts of combinations and permutations. So that's how it's going to be used, right? So this is hopefully clarifying things. Of course, there is all the issue of the aiming part that is done here, but we'll look at all these things later in different video. For now, it's all about target, previous video, and weapon, this video, and how to characterize every weapon. We could have also a rifle and a laser and so on. They would just have different values, different scriptable objects to fill up the fields in the weapon component. And that's it for today. Thank you.